So as we all know, Samsung is set to release the new Samsung Galaxy S21 series in a couple of days. But recently we got some new updates about the camera system, so let's check it out. An article on Voice reveals some leaked Italian infographics about the S21, S21 Plus and S21 Ultra. The former pair offer a triple rear camera setup, the latter a quad camera setup. Both feature a single central punch hole for the front camera. Here's a summary of the camera configuration. Samsung Galaxy S21 and S21 Plus will get a triple camera setup. The main camera will be a 12 megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture. The wide angle camera will also have a 12 megapixel sensor with an f2.2 aperture. The telephoto camera will have a 64 megapixel sensor with f2.0 aperture. The punch hole selfie camera will have a 10 megapixel sensor with a f2.2 aperture. Moving on to the S21 Ultra, this will feature a quad camera setup. The main camera will have a 108 megapixel sensor with f1.8 aperture and laser autofocus. The wide angle will come with a 12 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture. There will be two telephoto cameras. One will come with a 10 megapixel sensor with an f4.9 aperture and the other with a 10 megapixel sensor and an f2.4 aperture. Punch hole selfie camera will feature a 40 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture. At the front, the only difference is resolution. The S21 and S21 Plus getting a 10 megapixel selfie camera, the Ultra getting a 40 megapixels one. Although we expect the latter will use 4-in-1 processing technology to output 10 megapixel images anyway. The bigger story perhaps is that Samsung has done away with the pill-shaped double selfie camera and stuck with a single punch hole. There's no under-screen camera to be found here, so you'll find in say the ZTE Axon 25G. The bigger focus for most will of course be those rear cameras. Samsung has been among the camera leaders in smartphones, with the S21 series showing well a lot of that experience recycled, except for in the S21 Ultra. To start with, let's look at the Galaxy S21 and S21 Plus. Based on those specifications, it appears to offer the same setup as in last year's S20 range. So expected 12 megapixel main with optical stabilization, a 64 megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom and a 12 megapixel wide angle lens. It's with the Galaxy S21 Ultra that things are a bit different. There's the same 108 megapixel main lens as seen in both the S20 and Note 20 Ultra. The 12 megapixel wide angle is the same across the board, but the two telephoto lenses are entirely new. Both the S21 Ultra zoom lenses are 10 megapixels, so rather low resolution, but it's the aperture values that catch our eye. Long zoom lenses that are physically small can't have large apertures, as there's just not that much physical space. Therefore, we have a suspicion that Samsung has a 3x and a 5x optical zoom combination here, although given the f4.9 aperture of the second telephoto lens, that is leaning towards the sort of specification to expect on a 10x optic. Hey guys.